What's going on, guys? Oh, I think my screen is half covered or all the way covered. Oh my goodness. I think I just got hand lotion on my screen. Hang on just a second. I look like I'm in a storm. Hang on. I moved my camera on and I just put hand lotion on and evidently I smeared my screen. Welcome to Tuesday night. Oh my goodness. We're a hot mess already and it hasn't even started. I'm going to say hi to some people, but so I was so excited. I moved my van and got my office, my little desk thing done. And I thought, I'm going to do my live stream from my van. I got the shop closed down and and I looked down at my Wi-Fi bars and I had one and barely a shadow of a second one. And I thought, no, this ain't going to work. So I hurried up and moved in here and got lotion on my screen. I'm a mess. All right, guys. I'm going to say hi to some people. I already said hi to quite a few. Oh, Simple Life Seeker. The countdown is on. Can hardly wait for the live. CJ, yay, I made it. Yay. All right, Gracie and Jock. Oh man, good thing I checked. 6 p.m. my time. I know that clock change has really gonna mess some people up. Jackie Dodson in the house. Good to see you, friend. Surfing Dodo, Floss, Debbie. The normal crew is here. Chit chatting. I actually got to drop in just a little bit early, and I'll tell you why I was a little bit late dropping in. Drafts, I missed the Zoom. Patricia, we'll be having another one. You know how it goes. First and third Sunday. All right, hang on. Let me get caught up here. Jane is in the house from Utah. Susan is in the house. I'm scrolling. I gotta hurry up just in case Kelly pops in. Patricia's in the house. Good to see you. Say hi to Kurt. Lenny is in the house. Lenny's probably thinking, how come I haven't been getting any pictures? Because watching your video from Sunday, very informative. I'm sure those who do their own builds, very educational. Yay. I'm happy to hear that. Are you guys okay? We got pounded by tornadoes up here, and it was not fun. Folk of the Forest is in the house. Good to see you, Helen. Good to see you, Teresa. Paula is in the house saying hi to everybody. All right, I'm getting done. Annette, good to see you. All right, I'm almost done. Hurry. Wondering me, Ma. Good to see you, Cindy. Les in the house. Good to see you, Mo Bang, Carrie Joe. I'm almost done. You know what happens? If I be done, then somebody else comes in. You forgot to say hi to me. Good to see you, Nancy. All right, I'm going to scroll to the end. Howdy from Santa Fe. We got 50-mile-an-hour winds today, 50 plus. Interstate I-25 and I-10 shut down in places. God bless any nomads out there and about. That is exactly right. And we'll talk about that because I did a video on it. It's been over a year ago. And wow, so much good information. I'm here and was very thankful for your electric explanation. Makes me happy, Terry. Happy to help. Vanderella's in the house. Okay, we gotta be done. Lori, everyone, looks like I'm stuck in South Carolina for a foreseeable future. The transmission on my van needs to be replaced and the correct replacement isn't available. Oh my goodness. That stinks. Her van has been like a black cloud just from some of the little stuff that I saw. Linda Barker's in the house. I hope you had a good birthday. Am I confused? It was your birthday recently, right? Oh my goodness. I'm caught up. Good to see you, Dale. And the puppies are sleeping and Derek is in the house. Good to see you. Whoo, I think I made it through everybody. If you are here and I didn't say hi, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. If you're watching the replay, I appreciate you. And thanks for tuning in. So the question was, what do you guys do as nomads out on the road? And about a year ago, I was beelining it to Quartzsite, and we were expecting some snow. So I was like, I'm getting out of here. Really hadn't watched the weather, just knew that we were going to get snow up here. So I beelined it out of the shop, heading to Quartzsite, got to Arkansas, and in tornado warnings. It was not a picnic. And did a video on it because somebody knocked on my van and woke me up. And then I got on the phone with Kelly. We were trying to find an option for me to do. And the number one mistake was that I wasn't informed. So the best thing you can do is be informed. And I think everybody in the community watches Ryan Hall. So he is very, very good at keeping you up to date. The problem here at the shop with all these tornadoes this last weekend is when the wind and everything starts blowing, the TV goes off. So your weather radio guy, you just lost him. So that was not fun. We got some snow last night in Utah. Nice. I actually was in the middle of watching Trent Nally's video this evening. I started watching it while I was eating, and I saw they got a snowstorm last week as well. What's Vanderella saying? I got the answers to the questions you asked me. Oh, nice. Maddie is sleeping on my lap. Yay. So I went home last night. I needed to look at the house. The number one thing was my phone is trashed. And so I had to take it to get evaluated or whatever. So went home, did laundry. I may or may not have had meatloaf and mashed potatoes and corn and Sandy is in the house. Good to see you, Sandy. So anyway, Maddie's staying at the house for a couple of days while Kelly's off. I'll go back home Friday and get her, bring her back down to the shop. Right now, it's so busy down here, and I've got so many videos I'm working on. I really have been, like, I went home, did laundry, showered, slept, came back the very next morning. So, yeah, crazy, 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 busy. Hi, Debbie from Gooseberry Mesa. Now that's the name of a city. Let's see here. So I was happy that here at the shop we didn't get any damage and just gravel washing away in the lane and a bunch of sticks down, but nothing compared to my house took a beating from the hail. Roof will probably have some work done to it. I imagine they'll replace it. And then I got a bunch of siding that has some big old holes in it. Some of them are like the size of a nickel, and some of them are the size of a $50. And I got one window frame that took a hit. So, there's nothing more fun than dealing with insurance companies. So nobody put anything in here about what do you do during a storm. And I'm going to tell you something that you never, ever do. And I didn't know this. And I learned it on Ryan Hall. Actually, I learned it last year, but he said it again. Do not ever pull under an overpass, the underpass, or don't pull underneath an overpass, because it's like a wind tunnel and it's a traffic hazard because everybody else is, struggling to see. So if you can get off the road and get into a gas station or something, that is the best. The number one thing is to be informed, be prepared. Tawanda's in the house. Good to see you, Tawanda. Saying hello from Oregon. I'm going to have to go there. I need to go there again. Say hi to Robin for me. Mobang is saying hi to Tommy. Tommy's in the house. Good to see you, Tommy. So, yeah, there was a whole lot. So I did a video on that tornado. It was pretty scary. I got somebody knocked on the van. I think they were just going rig to rig to rig. and waking people up. So anyway, so this time I'll tell you, I was at the shop, but I had the power bank in here. I had my Sawzall in here. I had water. I had Maddie. I had the mattress that I could put over my head. We got Sean's van in the shop, the UTV in the shop, the lawnmower in the shop. Lenny's van was already in the shop. And then we had my van and my car underneath the awning. And besides a whole bunch of sticks down, we did well here. Yep. Be prepared. You have mountain bike trails here, some really nice campsites. Oh my goodness. I got up early today. I know it's going to be one of those live streams where I'm yawning. There's a few people in the house that are here. Maybe they saw my video from Sunday. The way we do it here is we hang out, chit chat in the chat. If you have a van life or a van building question, put it in the chat, and we do the best we can to answer all the questions here and be as helpful as we can. Thankful and the guitar and the amp and that pig. Yep, I had that in here too. Someone was saying to get a helmet with a face shield if you don't have a basement. Was it you? It was me. So a friend of mine out of Alabama, she's a subscriber of the channel. And the funny thing is, my son came over last night and he has a new motorcycle helmet. I said, what are you going to do with your other one? And he's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I said, well, if you're going to not give it away, I'll take it. And so they said, put a helmet on. It protects your brain. And they said the number one injury is debris in the eyes. And a lot of time it's from fiberglass insulation. And so the other thing is if you're in the tornado, it can actually like prevent the wind is, and the draft is so much that it's hard to breathe. But when you've got a helmet on, you can breathe in the helmet. So I told my son, I said, I don't care. I'll keep it in the shop. And if we're going to have tornado warnings, I'll get it down. I don't know if Maddie will fit on it or not. We may have to get Maddie a little helmet too. All right. Have you ever used eChannel? I have no idea what you're talking about. eChannel. No, I don't think I have, unless we call it something different. What is eChannel? Welcome to all the new folks. Thanks for helping me yesterday with the tire. Absolutely. Sold the Ram City. Good. Wondering how long a 1 pound propane or 8-ounce butane lasts with the dual fuel stove. Well, here's what I'm going to say. You have to specifically do some tests. And while you're here at the shop, that's what I tell my clients, like cook some meals, run some water, wash your hair, use your stuff. Because like some people simmer their food slowly over low heat, and some people just turn their burner on and let the pan engulf in heat until the spaghetti's burning to the bottom. So depending on the flow, but I'll tell you what, I went to Quartzsite with 2 tanks. Did I cook a lot? I feel like I cooked an okay amount in 7 weeks. I only used 2. And the second one is still in my stove. So it lasts a while. Now, if you cook breakfast, if you cook lunch, if you have both burners going, it's going to be less. I used to use one of those jet boils to cook, and those are like the 4-ounce butane, and I could cook 21. I could boil 2 cups of water 21 times with 4 ounces of butane. So if all you're going to do is be cooking coffee, you can have about 21 cups of coffee for sure. It depends on how much you use them. And yeah, and you know, how hot are you? Are you bringing something to boil and then letting it simmer for a long time? Um, let's see here. I looked at Farmington's Second Chance store today for a helmet. They were all too small. Man, Maddie don't want no helmet. Oh man, goes on walls. You see it in U-Haul box trucks. E-channel. We use we call it a U channel. It's a Unistrut, like the steel for like DIY roof racks and putting. I'm gonna Google it because it'll drive me crazy. U-Hauls use them. That tells me nothing, unfortunately. I'll tell you guys, if you guys knew what I was going through with my phone, you'd be like, don't worry about it. All right, let's get educated here. Oh, that was wrong. E-channel, it thinks I'm talking about a TV show. How about for trucks? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, those a lot of people that use I've never used that. I've never used it. What are you going to use it for your bed or for hanging shelves on? That track is a lot like what what's that one store that is really what's that one store a lot of people get their bed? Oh my goodness. You guys know, somebody tell me. You know that store? um Annie P saying hi to everybody. I plan on making a windscreen with aluminum foil. There you go. They have some helmets on Amazon for less than $100. There you go. IKEA. I knew somebody would get it. Yes, those are kind of like, reminds me of those. Look at everybody getting IKEA. And I was like, I've been there, I think, Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, probably twice in my life. So, yeah. Yep. My bet is IKEA. Yeah. Those channels, I have seen them in contractor, like commercial vehicles, but I have never used them in vans, and any vans that have ever come with like aluminum like that, we've always gutted it out. Yep. Bedmart. We have IKEA down here. Everybody, most people got it. They are made to accept 2x4 for bed. Yep. That's what I figured. I don't use 2x4s for beds. And guys, I'm going to tell you why I don't typically use. I did for my bed in my original build, but if you get a sheet of birch plywood and you have a table saw or a friend that has a table saw, and you cut 3.5-inch pieces of 3/4-inch birch, 2 of those, and glue them together, it's going to be so much stronger than a 2x4. Pine lumber like that, it's like I'm drawing a blank today. I must have had too much coffee this morning, or not enough coffee this morning. That kind of lumber is real soft. So like 2x4s, 2x3s, 2x2s, even the furring strips that are out of the white pine is a soft wood. And I'll tell you how you can test it. If you've got a piece of, let's just say, birch plywood, and you've got a piece of 2x4, take a hammer and give both of them a good whack and see how big of a dent the 2x4 makes and see how big of a dent the birch makes. And it's going to be considerable difference. Now, if you have access to build a 2x4 bed or whatever, then do that. I'm just saying, if you have where you can pick, it is better to make your material out of the birch, glue it together, than to use the softer pine. And you'll see, I'll tell you an example. Go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, wherever you go, Menards, take a 2x4 off the pile and sight your 2x4. Some of them just have an incredible bow in them. And typically that's what's going to happen down the road, is it's going to, become deformed. And when you're using long strips like 72 inches or 75 inches, it has even a greater chance of happening. And never ever want to put a 2x4 crossways. You always want to have it upright like this, not like this for a bed, like this, because it's stronger. My cousin and I got lost in IKEA. I worked with him 10 blocks of times. I gotta back up. I scrolled down and then I was thinking of French cleats to attach to the walls. Absolutely. French cleats are pretty handy, especially if you're going to be moving stuff around. A lot of DIY shops do them. Now, as far as the French cleat and driving down like Plamosa Road on the BLM land, I mean, I would anchor it as well, but a French cleat will definitely work. Let's see here. I have no idea about IKEA. Yeah, I guess they're not everywhere. We actually have one in St. Louis. It hasn't been there for a long, long time. It's probably been there 10 years, maybe that. I loved their tea light candles. What is Deborah saying? IKEA ain't go there. IKEA ain't go there. I spend too much. I can't go there. That's how she's saying it. I can't go there. I spend too much. Oh, man. That's like me and REI. I don't go to REI that often. I spend too much money. Do you think a Bluetti AC300 with one B300 battery would be enough to run a van, normal appliances, or should I have save for another battery or two? I feel like if you have a Bluetti AC300, one B300, and the charger one or an inverter to charge while you drive, that you can manage it if you don't have an air conditioner. The air conditioner would be the deal breaker on one battery. So, and Kathy, again, like when you're doing your stuff, you do what you know. And if you go back and watch my first build and how hard of a time I had tearing it out, that was conventional 2x4 lumber. I did it this way. I do it this way for my clients now because I have learned, and we're building these to last forever. Should you use the hammer at Home Depot on the wood at the store? Oh, I would. Just do it. Oh, they probably wouldn't care. Where have I been? Probably won't go on Vanderbilt. Oh, she must be talking about a road closed. I'll tell you, I guess Lindbergh or Ole May Ferry must be closed too. So that is all Missouri talking here. There's several of us from a little area here in Missouri. And yeah, small 12-volt fridge, small TV light, small AC in emergency only. The AC is going to be what's going to kill you. And whether it's small or it just isn't going to matter. And if the AC unit is DC current, you can't run it off the Bluetti. The 30 amp will not run it. So actually 30 amp will not run it because of the startup. So even if it's got a soft start on it, it still trips that breaker. So the AC unit, like if you're talking about driving and stopping at a rest stop for lunch, you got your dog in the back and you want to run into IKEA or Bass Pro and turn the AC unit on for your animal, you're going to be able to do that. You are going to be able to do that. But as far as running it for, because you have to think about it, the B300, 3,000 watt hours, you're probably going to get what? You're probably going to get 2650 out of it, I'm going to guess. So if you run an air conditioner for 2 hours, it will be completely dead. So that's the problem. That is always the problem. For people that need air conditioning, I always suggest getting, and when I say always suggest, it is through, you guys have watched me for a while. You know this has progressed as I have learned things. And I would get an AC current air conditioner. You can run it off your Bluetti for a little bit at a time. And when it's hot, you either go to Elevation or go and mooch stock from one of your friends or neighbors or someone like that. Do you use Loctite marine grade adhesive or have another recommendation? I specifically, $17 a tube, use Loctite marine adhesive because these clients pay me to do quality work, and I feel like that has never failed me. And on times when I have put that on and then had to get it off to change a plan or something, it's not easy. So I use Loctite marine grade adhesive, worth the money. And it sets up fast. It sets up pretty fast. Aussie's in the house. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. There are IKEA in Ohio, but I've never been there. Do you use adhesive between the wood frame and the van metal frame? Yes, I do. So anywhere that the wood furring strip or if I'm just putting birch on the wall, anywhere the wood connects to the metal, I put marine adhesive. Also, like when we put our cabinets up, we put a bead of marine adhesive where the wood meets the metal, or wood meets the wood as well. When we put our floor down, the furring strips, we marine adhesive them down. We do not put screws through the floor of the van. So anywhere we're bonding two things together. I'll tell you what, I'm on like week 3 of this current build, and I just opened tube number 5 on marine adhesive. It's crazy. Do you use 3M90 adhesive for the Thinsulate or have another recommendation? I do. You're nailing it. I use the 3M90. I have before, because they were out of the 90, used the 77 and have not had an issue with that. But we typically get the 3M90, spray it on both surfaces, and hang it. So, yep. Let's see here. What is Lost talking about now? I've always take shortcuts to skip some areas. Got to get to the restaurant for Swedish meatballs. I've had small water tanks in my camper and it sweats. do the larger 30-gallon sweat too. Is there a fix? I haven't. I have not had the water tank sweat. That's gotta be from like some kind of a change in the temperature in your, I don't know if your water is warm and the air is cool, if that is what's causing it. I have never noticed any of my water tanks to sweat. You know what? I'll have to put a container, like a milk jug of water. I've got my jug of water in there now, and it's been really, really cold, and I've had the heater on. And I don't think that's ever sweat either. Where do you live at? Where do you live at? I wonder if that might have something to do with it. Lynn is in the house. Good to see you, Lynn. Glad to see you posting those pictures and having a good time. Who made corned beef and cabbage for St. Patrick's Day? Depends on the humidity. There you go. Yeah, I guess I've never really either noticed because they are out of sight. They're in the backs, like mine's in a bench. But I've never noticed mine to sweat. Humidity in North Carolina makes my water tanks sweat. Now, are you talking about van life water tanks, or like if you have a barrel or something sitting outside? I would imagine. I haven't noticed my 30-gallon sweat. In all this time, I've never had anyone say that. I am missing so much on Facebook because I gave it up for Lent. There you go. Robin made really good corned beef in the crock pot. There you go. I never even imagined. I thought it was furniture only. I'm evidently missing a lot. I made steak and asparagus, forgot all about corned beef. I ran before that corned beef started cooking. Ugh. I do not like that stuff. It don't smell good. It don't smell good. Maybe it's a metal tank. That would. My husband did, but for me, yuck, no way. There you go, Debbie. We'll go get a steak. Those guys can have corned beef. We'll go get a steak. Yeah, definitely I could see a metal tank doing that. Never seen a plastic one do that. I made braised beef short ribs. I feel like I've heard of that as a St. Patrick's Day thing. Might cook corned beef with all the trimmings. Have you done any videos on removing the panels and replacing a window? So I haven't done a video on replacing a window. I've done videos where I take those ribs out. Now, I was going to be swapping out a window for somebody, so I got the kit. So in van life, all these windows that you get from the manufacturer, they have the urethane, and the urethane just bonds that window to the steel. There's a kit, and I'll tell you, it's $34, and it has got everything that you need to get. It's a metal cable, and you push it through that urethane adhesive, and you literally just work your way down until you release all that adhesive, and that window comes out. And then you got to clean all the adhesive off the window. But that is how you do. Oh, I replaced a window. Les broke his. It was shattered. So we just put a barrier up and pulled all the broken glass off, cleaned the urethane up. But you can break it or get that kit for $34 and and have a controlled removal of that window. And I'll tell you, when we were talking, me and Sean were talking about it one time, we looked it up on how to take out a window that you have installed. Y'all are killing me with the corned beef and cabbage. Well, Debbie said we getting a steak. I went to a local bar and had Mexican food and a few gentlemen, Jack and Coke for St. Patrick's Day. Nice. I thought Halloween was your favorite holiday, Vanderella. It's not. It's St. Patrick's Day. She likes Halloween. St. Patrick's Day is her number one go-to. I now use Gary and Tootsie instead of Gary. I now have 3 videos. Oh, guys, let's see. Let me click on this. I'll tell you what, I gotta go get new glasses. I don't know if I can tick my head back any further. Nobody picking on me while I'm not looking. All right, let me find that real quick. Because Gary has been a longtime follower of the channel, and I always wait for that day when these people are like, I'm gonna go get a channel. I am going to, that's so funny, man. I can barely see. All right. I got Gary's turned up. I am subscribed. Thank you, Gary. Let's see here. And if Gracie or someone wants to drop his channel link, I do not mind that at all. And Gary lives in Florida and recently went to one of the van meetups down in Florida and is going to share that with the community on his channel. So if you're building out a van or you're here because you like van content, go subscribe to Gary's channel. There's only 3 videos to watch. You can fully support him. Watch from start to finish. Give him a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, give him a thumbs down. A thumbs up or a thumbs down is better than just leaving without anything. But for those of us that are sensitive, it takes a while to understand why somebody would give you a thumbs down. Pick. Oh, pick. I missed that one. Oh, Gracie's already dropped the link. And I will, because I know how to do this kind of stuff. That's so funny. I can barely see that screen all the way over there. Oh my goodness. I was going to pin it. I better not. I'm going to get dizzy leaning my head back so far. See, question about sealant on MaxxAir fan. Let me go back. At least when Johnny is gone, you can cook yours in the house. Absolutely. For sealing the MaxxAir fan, do you recommend the marine adhesive or self-leveling stuff? I do. Now, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. This last video was just about wiring the puck lights. I'm going to post a video probably tomorrow. I will post it tomorrow. I do a very, very detailed step-by-step. If you're not doing a MaxxAir fan, it will bore you to death. Install on the MaxxAir fan. And just to answer that question, I put butyl tape around the 14x14 opening. I put my flange in, I screw it all down, and then I put self-leveling Eternabond. Is that Eternabond? Lap sealant. It's not Eternabond. That's tape. Lap sealant. And you'll only need 1 tube of it, and you will never have a leak. Greetings, everyone from Florida that knows how to install flexible solar panels into. Anyone from Florida that knows how to install flexible solar panels into, did you finish it? I was asking, and you responded when I hit sent button. Okay. My next video will be a tour of my DIY van coming shortly. So cool. So cool. I'm going to open up my window. I'm a little hot. Oh, that feels good. Onto a fiberglass top. What I would do is there's different kinds of fiberglass. Some of the fiberglass tops, if you can see inside your van, you can tell if there are supports. I have done a flexible panel install on a fiberglass top, and we use Eternabond tape on hers. And you can, if you're going to screw it down, if you can put a layer of that, I always call it Chloroplast. It is that thin corrugated plastic. A lot of companies make van walls out of them. They grommet in place. If you put that between your flexible panel and your roof, you're going to get better airflow. And if you can see supports on the inside of your van and you don't mind putting holes in your roof, I would anchor them through. If not, you can Eternabond. I would get like 3 to 4 inches of Eternabond and do it all the way around. So that's how we have done it before. I didn't like it for a long time. I like sauerkraut. It's funny because I don't like cooked cabbage, but I like sauerkraut. I did Zen sitting meditation, then went to, let's go, Patty's Fruitcake Dance. I want to add a MaxxAir fan, but so nervous about cutting a hole in the roof. Aussie, I'm telling you, when you see the video, and I will post it tomorrow, when you see that, literally it is step by step how to do it. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. If you're okay climbing on top of your van, that's the only thing. You got to climb on top of your van. You will be fine. Is Bobby in the house? Bobby is in the house. Good to see you, Bobby. There are so many of you out there. I can't wait to get out and meet up with. Yep. One more year and I'm on the road. How exciting. How exciting. The wind is finally calming down. It's been windy here all day. I literally I used the blower and had we could have had a leaf fight. I had so many leaves in here. What thickness and material do you recommend for the walls? I get what my clients want, and I have used the 1/4-inch birch on several because it's super lightweight. It's a little bit harder because you got to get that pattern right. And if you don't, you're either doing some creating finish work or you got to recut it. And I like using, I put shiplap in mine. It is like 5/8. And a lot of people like the tongue and groove. I've done a couple with the tongue and groove. That's 3/4 inch. It's not a whole lot heavier. I mean, I've seen people order the factory, like I said, it's like a plastic and you just grommet it up onto the wall. But the lightest weight stuff you can probably get is the 1/4-inch birch. You have to know, though, like you got to have your furring strips all like strategically, or if you lean up against the wall, it's not going to be able to hold you. So tools are everything in a van build. Nailed it. That nailed it. We have had 2 days of nonstop wind out here. I can't even imagine. Should be mobile, but a little leery. I would be too. That's why you should just come here. We've had 50-mile-an-hour. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A new metal blade cuts that roof like butter. I was surprised how easy it was. Absolutely. And I get actually the thin metal blades. And I've cut an entire sliding window and a small bunk window with one blade before. I have cut a sliding door window with 6 blades before. Ask Les, he'll verify it. And we have a new technique to doing that Ram ProMaster sliding door window now. um, yep. So as far as the material for the walls, honestly, it's like depending on how heavy a build you're gonna have. I mean, but I've done um a lot of everything as far as 3/4, quarter, half, and every single time I have gone to a scale, the vans have been underweight. I've never been overweight. Whew, I was afraid to get on my roof. I got my 18-year-old for the install. Um, yep, yep. Yeah, getting up on the roof. Now, I'm going to tell you, you could do it from inside, except for getting that hood, except for the final 4 screws with installing the fan down. You really need a second person anyway. So it's like I don't like cutting steel over my head. That's why I always hop on the roof. And it's like boom, boom, done. For framing, do you recommend 1x3 pine furring strips? No, they're soft, and I'm gonna say, if there's anybody in the chat, anybody that watches this later, and you used 1x3 furring strips, that is fine. I use the birch because it's so strong. I order like several sheets of it and rip a bunch of furring strips down, and they're all the same size, and I strategically put them up because of their strength. That's why I do it. You're mounting cabinets on the wall, and I've seen, 1x2s, 1x3s, again, go there and look at them. And a lot of them are so warped that it's like, it's a soft wood. It's a soft wood. So I like my birch plywood for my furring strips, for my, for a lot. We use a lot. But again, if furring strips 1x3 are in your budget, you already have them, then use them. I use marine adhesive, put your furring strip up, and do stainless steel, and either do the riv nuts or the stainless steel, and secure them to your van. So, because I'm telling you guys, walk up to a van and just kind of push on that metal. It's thin. It is thin. If you've ever been on a roof of a van walking around, you've got to strategically try to hit one of those ribs, or it's going to push in, and you're going to have to hope your ceiling's not done and push it back out. So, yep. I think Lady Bug Out used the pop on panels in her van. She did. That's why I came to your shop. There you go. If you have a problem behind the wall, how do you access it when using tongue and groove? You do not. When you have a problem behind the wall, that is why you don't splice wires behind walls. You don't put any junctions behind walls. Make it so you have access to everything. In all of my builds, I have never had to cut a hole in somebody's wall looking for something. So, I'm not saying there's not a screwdriver behind somebody's wall. No, there's not. But once your walls are up, like, if I need to get, like, I put a lot of my wiring in a row so I can take my outlet out, and I can fit my hand inside an outlet box. So if I had to like tighten a toggle switch or something, I have access to that. I did on my van and one other build. She had all her electrical all in a row. I made her, she used shiplap, and I put one of the pieces where it tucked in, 2 screws on the bottom, so I could slide that out and access that entire electrical setup. So, yep. I don't put any plumbing behind walls. In one build, I put complete PEX in the floor because she had a bathroom, a galley on one side and a shower on the other. And I don't like going out under the van with the water hoses. Although in the future, I would probably do that as opposed to going through the floor. Most of the time, I'll hide the hose, the line, behind a cabinet. Like Les and Bernadette's, we ran theirs back to the garage, across the garage, and up to the shower. So no matter what, we always have access to that. With water tank full and gas tank full, her van was still under 1,000 pounds. Awesome. I did use 1x3. I didn't know any better. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, my first build, did you see that hot mess? I used 1x2s for furring strips, pine 1x2s. So, and it did fine. It did fine. My clients pay me for, for what I think is going to hold up the best down the road. That's why I use that. It is more costly, hands down. Hands down, it's more costly. I bet you can probably buy all your furring strips for half the price of making your own, because I make them, the size that I make them, the amount that I use. But a lot of my clients we anchor a lot of stuff to the walls. And if you've got 1/4 inch wood over your walls, you're not going to anchor a cabinet to 1/4 inch. So getting on the roof doesn't bother me. I get up there and I clean my solar panels. It's the worry of the fan blowing out and killing someone while cruising down the freeway because I didn't do it right. That is 100% never going to happen. I am telling you, I've got one more little thing to do to that video before I can post it, like plug it in and turn it on for you guys. It's already been on. I just got to shoot that little clip. I'll post that tomorrow, probably around the same time I normally post videos, 4:45 Central, because it's such an oddball time. And I'm telling you, watch that video. Email me with any questions, and anyone, I'm telling you, you can do it. You can do it. And I had someone hire me just for a consultation. She had hired someone to do her MaxxAir fan, and they charged her $900 to do her MaxxAir fan in an ambulance and wire it. And the wires were on the outside of the wall. They didn't put the wires behind the wall. Like, what wiring did you do? So, do you frame out the MaxxAir fan while installing it? Yes, I do. And in the video, I show you the frame. I do a 2x2. I cut 14 1/8, 2 of them, and 2 17 1/8, 2 of them. Screw them together, and you've got a 14 1/8 by 14 1/8. And I hold that frame there, and Sean drills through it. You'll see that in the video. And I do prime that as well. And yep, that's how we do it. Because if you don't put a wooden frame on the inside, you're going to have 16 screws sticking through your roof. And if you put that frame there, that gives you, when you put your ceiling up, it's going to be so much easier. So much easier. So, yep. I didn't realize how thin the metal of my van was until I saw the metal from the bunkhead window cutout. Yep. Yep. Like when my dad said to follow the boards in an attic and we'd come through the ceiling and pay for it. Right. Right. I got on my roof from my deck and just watched videos, plastic taped inside the van, drilled the corner, got on top, connected the dots with my saw. All that worry done in minutes. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's really not a hard project. It's intimidating. But even windows, again, like I emailed a client and I said, they want work done. And I said, we can only do easy stuff right now, like fans and windows. And it's like, easy. That's the easy stuff on a van build. Windows, fans, easy. It's the other stuff that is time consuming. And yep. Freddie is in the house. Hi, everyone. A little late. I had colossal bacon wrapped scallops, lobster tail, fresh caught crappie, asparagus, seasoned potato wedges. I'm going to go into diabetic coma just reading this. Some days are pre something. Yeah, that is yummy. Sounds like my type of person. Yep. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. What size do you rip your birch furring strips? I do the 3/4 for the walls, and I rip them 3.5. And the reason why I do that is because a lot of my clients in the last probably, I'm going to say, I've done probably a dozen now that wanted the 1/4-inch birch. So that's thin. So if you butt 2 pieces of 1/4-inch birch up to a 3.5-inch furring strip, it's got, if somebody leans against that edge, it's not going to break. If you use a 1.5 furring strip and you've got 2 pieces of birch shearing, they only have 3/4 of an inch each. And I just worry that, even our dogs that are, 100 pounds, they plop down up against the wall, you worry about that. So I make mine 3.5 and rip a bunch of them and use them. What's the minimum wood thickness needed to attach an upper cabinet? I would honestly, an upper cabinet, I would do the 3/4 because, now, let me finish the furring strip real quick because I forgot. I use 1/2 inch on the ribs because 1/2 inch will bend. So I cut them 3 inches, and I think most of them are 59, and I think on the Transit they might be 61, and I prime them. And then you've got all kinds of holes in your ribs. So hold your furring strip up there and mark where you want to screw it, because if you put a screw and you hit a hole, you just wasted time. So mark where you want your screws to go. And I put like 5 of them. Put 1 dead center, put 2 as far out, and then cut the distance in half. Prime them and put them up. And then when you put your ceiling up, if you're putting a cabinet up along the upper, like my upper cabinets that I do, make sure that if you are going to put 1/4-inch wood up on your ceiling or cedar planks that are real thin, make sure that you hit your ribs on your roof. The walls will hold it, but I'm telling you, you want some of the roof part to screw in, or they're gonna have issues over time. Like, my van was 4 years old, so when I remodeled it. So, I mean, it holds up the way I do it. And I've got it in several videos on how I do mine. And one of them, it's making, like how I make these cabinets or something. If you type in cabinets, it should come up. I know Nancy said 900. It included the fan, but that was highway rod. That's crazy. It was so crazy. I was so sick when she told me that. Um, they charge twice the price for labor. Absolutely. Because they wired it. And I'm like, that's ridiculous because that wasn't even close. Was there a reason you didn't put the plastic frame on the inside of my MaxxAir fan? Yes, because your ceiling's not done. Once you cut that flange, once you cut it, if you put a ceiling up, the flange can't be used anymore. It's too short. So once your ceiling goes up, we will cut that and screw that in, because that flange, they send it to you, and I'm gonna say it's probably 4 to 5 inches. Nobody's got that thick of a ceiling except maybe RVs, maybe like Class A's. I don't know. So they make them wide so you can cut them to the depth that you need. So what you do is you measure from the bottom of your ceiling to the fan, and I add like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch so that it recesses up inside the fan and you can't see it at all. Yeah, $900 is awful. Yeah, it seems like Thinsulate doesn't keep my van insulated. Is it just me? I'm gonna say this. No matter what insulation you have, you're in a metal box with all kinds of windows, and even stuffing insulation in every crevice that you possibly can, there's still steel that can get cold and radiate cold air in. So it helps, but it's not like a home where you've got R19 or R13, depending on if it's the attic or whatever. These insulations that we use in our vans are like R5, R4. So it's better than nothing, but it's not, a game changer. It helps. And it really helps with the sound. I have 2 layers. I've got Thinsulate, Havelock wool, and Reflectix all up in my walls. And, it still gets cold in my van. It still gets hot in my van. Yep. Doing the same for my niece. Did you stuff Thinsulate into every rib and crevice? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because if you've got any exposed steel, like your doors, people don't even know that, like on the Transit, those back black panels, those come off. If you don't take those off, you got a lot of air coming in. And you have to think about all the cold air coming through your windshield and your windows. That's why I use those Van Essential window covers and put my curtain up. And I'm telling you, when I put my curtain up, there's a 10-degree difference. So, yep. I had to add a back seat for my son. I'm stuck on a design to make it turn into a bed for him. I thought behind the driver's seat and have table and a seat, figure out how to turn it into a bed. The problem is like the van seats that we get don't lay flat. So you would almost have to get some kind of like a conversion van, like a conversion van that has those that do lay down all the way flat and do that kind of a seat. And it's not going to match the front. But that would be the only way that I would know that would work. They do make, I put one in a Sprinter. It's a bench. It folds up out of the way. When you want to use it, you fold it down and it folds flat. And that was a aftermarket, you just install it, bolt it through the floor type thing. And it had seatbelt on it. But any of our vans, the seats are like bucket and they just don't lay flat. So, all right. trying to get caught up here, guys. Could be desert heat. All right, I have a Ram Pro Mesh 159 extended. How do you frame out the ceiling back by the rear doors? No ribs back there. So what I do back there is, you know how you've got the header on the back? If you put a board all the way across your ceiling that you're going to use, like say you're going to use a piece of say you're going to do tongue and groove ceiling, put the board up there, bring it all the way back until it touches that header. Mark with a pen or a pencil or a piece of tape the bottom of it. Pull it out of the way. You know that that is 3/4 of an inch. Cut yourself some blocks, put marine adhesive on them, and glue them with marine adhesive to the back, and you can put your ceiling boards all the way up to the back wall. Now, that's going to leave you an area still showing. And what I do is a decorative header, and I'm going to say it, I've got that in videos as well. It is not easy. You literally need to take like cardboard paper and kind of, outline the header area. It is not an easy project. That's why once I had made a couple patterns, I kept them, because I'm like, I'm not redoing this. But that's how I do it. And then because my ceiling is so secure, that header that I make, I just Craig it to the ceiling. And I leave a little bit of a space so I can put my LED lights behind it. So, yep. We don't have good used van prices and available in New York. I know somebody that's got a van in New York for sale. Our good friend Mark Wolf, I think his van is still for sale. Do the medium roof transit window covers work for the low roof transit? Yes. Frustrated trying to find low roof transit covers. I am almost 100% positive the windows on those vans are the same. Matter of fact, they are, because Jane has the Van Essential window covers. So, and if you're looking for Van Essential window covers, I don't get any kickback, but I do get a discount if you want to contact me and I order them and send them to you. I get like 30% discount. Insulation in my box truck was outsourced spray foam, $1,000, and then bats between ridges. It still is too hot or too cold. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just, it's tough in van life just to regulate that temperature. And I'm telling you, I've had so many times where I've had my van and it's like so hot, and you climb out of bed and the floor is cold. So it's tough. But the best you can do is help prevent, like if you're sitting in the sun, insulation is going to help some. It's going to help a little. So imagine putting your hand up against that wall with no insulation, and then putting your hand up against that wall with your walls up. It's gonna be, a considerable difference. What external side step do you recommend for the ProMaster? So here's the problem with the running board step. I love the Weston running boards. Weston has a perfect Ford Transit running board. The 148 wheelbase, it is perfect. They have a perfect Ram ProMaster one, but it is for the 136 wheelbase. So I have emailed their engineer and let them know that the last two brackets on, if you get that one, the last two brackets don't line up. You have to do some engineering. But hands down, whether you've got, I'm just going to say three, the I boards, the Owens or the Weston, the only running boards that I have not see go like this when you step on them is Weston. All the other ones have play in them. And I'm talking about, we have done tons of installs. So we like the Weston running boards here. Gina's in the house. Good to see you, Gina. Thanks for coming in. And the running boards that they've got, like the one on the driver's side is like 48 inches or 44 inches. So it goes back pretty far, and it's got a double support. And the one on the passenger side goes all the way to the front. So, yep. Hate my running boards. She has iBoards. She has the iBoards. Did you play your members video yet? Oh, I did not. Guys, if you're a member of the channel or you're a Patreon, and all the little extra that you guys do for the channel, I certainly appreciate each and every one of you guys. Yep. So she said they give and they are too short. Now I'm going to tell you guys, on these running boards, a lot of them, the most you're going to get is 5 inches. And if you're a size 13 shoe, you know, you have to adapt to stepping out of the van onto your step sideways. So your running boards like that, when you step out, you put your foot down. That you just have to do that because that's how they are. Is Vanderell going to bed? Which tow bar do you recommend for ease of installation? You know what? I've done one tow bar, a tow hitch. Is that what you're talking about? I've done one hitch, and I have the name of it on a box out in my shop because she bought the hitch stabilizer and her kit came with one. It's in a green and black box. Doggone it. Helen, I will message you. I will message you that. I do have big feet. I'm not calling you big feet. I'm saying there's small steps. You got to step sideways. Let's see here. LOL, you thought that was end. I don't even know what she's talking about. Yeah, tow hitch, tow bar. Yep. And you know what, Helen? It wasn't hard to install. Me and Les installed it, and it really didn't take long. And she's got one of those huge cargo carriers on the back of it. So, I needed it, I guess. That wind kept me awake last night. Uh-oh, what's she got going on? What's going on, Cheryl? I'm late coming in, and we're still live. We're working overtime today. I'm over this wind. It is windy. I'm telling you what, it is so windy out there. We have had stuff. It's like, who does that belong to? Just stuff blowing. Crazy. That breeze feels good, though. That breeze feels so good. You can probably see my hair blowing. Any ideas for secret, small, important stashes like passport and tablets? Now, I'll tell you what. If you will send me an email, I will tell you the best spot. But the problem is saying it live is that I've got a lot of vans out there, and that's where we all keep our passport and our credit cards and our cash while we're traveling. So I'm like, I trust everybody in the community, but you never know who's going to watch this afterwards. But I've got one client that's like, I don't think I've got a secret stash, but most of my clients have somewhere that only they know about. Now, I will say, there's all kinds of like little compartments that people don't know about, like the Ram ProMaster. Your battery compartment and your fuel pump compartment is right inside the cab. And if you open up your battery compartment and you had like a fireproof envelope, there's all kinds of room in there, like literally. Now you got to watch for mice, but I'll tell you, there's always, what I would look for is like, you're framing out your van, and when you are framing out your van, you're like, I'm going to put a cabinet here. And whether it's a base cabinet or overhead cabinet or whatever, maybe in the back of your cabinet, put a fake wall up that you can pull down, and your wall, is behind there, and you can Velcro anything behind there. And I'll tell you, I had a client that wanted to be able to store a year's worth of food that nobody could find in her van, and we did it. And I'm like, it's a weird request, but we did it. Everything's good. Thanks, Johnny. Snowed in 2 days. Without water is our biggest concern. That's what I can't remember where you're at, but when we had the tornadoes coming, I hurried up and filled up my water, because if we lose power, we don't have running water, because my well has a pump. So Sean and I both completely filled up our water tanks. The prices they charge in Oz for any van work, it would be cheaper to fly Johnny over here, pay her to do it, and fly her home would still be cheaper, I reckon. We're totally game. We would do, the problem is all my tools are here. I have flown with tools that you guys can't believe. I always wrap my tools in like Seahawks t-shirts or St. Louis Cardinal t-shirts, because when you take a pass load nailer in a suitcase on a plane, your bag's getting checked. They're opening your bag up. And I always leave them nice notes. Never thought about the fireproof envelope. They are incredible. They are up to like literally 5,000 degrees, and they zipper, and then they fold over, and they're nice. Yep. Fire extinguisher or fire blanket? Fire blanket. It would be so worth it for Johnny to work on your van. That would be so cool. Good idea on the cabinet, because you have to think about it. If someone broke in your van, this is what they're wanting: fast fines. So if you leave your computer out, that's a fast fine. But if they have to like take out 10 pair of pants in hopes that there might be a fake back behind there, that's not going to happen. So, yep. Know what else I do? I'll tell you this. I have got people that, I shouldn't say this, but when you make a real well box, both ends are hollow. Really, there's a little section, passport, money. I mean, I could probably put I'd probably put a blow dryer in there. That's the size of it, small blow dryer. I put a hole in it, and I put a vent over it. So anybody that breaks into that van, they're going to think it's a vent, that it's a heater vent. And all you have to do is take, a screw or two out and reach your hand in there and get your stuff. So if you're going to be, hiding, depending on what you're hiding, it's worth it. It's worth it. So radiator vents are real good because, you know, they think, and I'll tell you what I did. Yeah, I'll tell you what I did. So I have a drawer in my van that I close all the way. And then I've got a fake wall. It is just Velcroed into place. If I take that wall down, that drawer has a cotter pin in it. So it seems like the drawer is locked, but it's really just a pin. And if you take that fake wall down, which I have all kinds of stuff piled in front of it, you could get that drawer open. But I don't do that on, like, I've got my electronics in there. And when you record and edit, and that stuff adds up. So that's what I do. So hiding guitar picks. Guys, poor Tigger held out this long. See ya, Deborah. See ya. Thanks for staying so long. Poor Tigger's got to go potty. Guys, we're going to call it in 9 minutes. We're going to call it in 9 minutes. If you have any last second questions, if you had like a late thought, just send me an email, or we'll see you next Tuesday. You can ask me next Tuesday. I know a lady that makes and sells pillows with a compartment for valuables. Absolutely. I can't wait to rewatch this video to make more notes. There you go. Thanks for amazing videos. Absolutely. I love it when I help someone. I think guitar picks hide themselves. I know, right? Oh man, they do. Can you buy me a van? Oh man, could you imagine? Could you imagine being like in a position where you could? Like, how cool would that be? So people will say, oh, does anybody know somebody that can do this? And sometimes it's like, if I can do it, you know, because it's like there's so many people out there that, you know, it's like, you know, it's just right out of reach, you know. Great chat. I came in late, but we'll rewatch. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. A lot of good questions, stuff I had not thought of. Absolutely. Vans for all the homeless people. Yeah. Yep. The problem is then they got to buy gas and maintenance. And so it'd be cool if there was like a van graveyard, and if your van ever got to the point where it couldn't be used and you could take it to this place and homeless people could live in it, like the engine shot, but homeless people could live in it. Could you imagine how cool that would be? I'll message you for Mark Van. Absolutely. A lot of homeless people do not want to live. I'll tell you guys a story real quick. A guy saw one of my videos and reached out to me, wanted some help with some solar. I was like, absolutely, you know, come on down. This was before I was building full time, and it didn't work out. Components were on back order because it was during COVID, and he had a Ford Econoline and he wanted to give it to a veteran. He had some veterans come and look at it. Neither one of them wanted it. So he contacted me because I used to do Habitat for Humanity. I did all that work for this lady for free, and he gave me that van. So yeah, it's crazy that somebody wouldn't want it. But if you can't afford the upkeep, you know, and the gas, and where are you going to park it? Because they'll let you sleep on a tent under the underpass, but they won't let you sleep in your van on the curve, you know, down the road. So van tiny homes, absolutely. Yep. So until you do laundry, picks, I think they hide in the dryer. I'll tell you what, man, you cannot even, that would be, you wouldn't be able to guess like all the stuff that is in the bottom of the washing machine after I do my laundry. It is like, what is that? It's like, oh, that goes, like Kelly's like, yesterday, Kelly goes, I put your clothes in the dryer, but there's a pencil in the bottom of the washer and I can't reach it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Plus it has to be legal or get towed. Absolutely. Has to be registered, has to be insured. That's expensive. That's it. I mean, you know, yep, yeah. Yeah, it'd be so cool, to figure it out. So, because there's populations, there's places that because of the climate, the homeless population is high. And, like I don't think in Minnesota, the winter homeless population is that bad. But you know what I mean. So I live alone and lose socks all the time. Get Kelly a short reacher. I know. You know what she would say? Just empty your pockets. Just empty your pockets. Every time I empty my pockets, something. You guys see the pants I wear. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many pockets. So. All right, guys, it's about 9:30. When you guys leave here, if you have an ounce of energy left, go watch one of Gary's videos. Give him a thumbs up. Tell him that you heard about him from Johnny's Journeys channel and hit that subscribe button. Give him some love. He's been following the channel for a long time, years. So if you have a question and I didn't answer it, send me an email or we'll see you next Tuesday. Give you that the link for that channel. You know what? I've got it open. I can actually drop it. I can actually drop it now. I'm going to copy that. That's what happens. And Gracie beat me to it. Good job, Gracie. I'm going to pin yours. There you go. Got it pinned. So you guys, if you're coming in late or watching late, you can see it up there. Ooh, the wind is. Ooh, I think my door just blew open. Holy mackerel, that scared me. Thank you guys. Guys, we'll see you next week. Take care.